Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com.
We are live. Welcome to the Market Update. I'm your host, Bill Noble. If you need a roadmap in crypto and you need to make money in crypto, subscribe to this channel. Turn on alerts so you know when we are going live. And of course, if you like the content, please give us that thumbs up. We're shooting for 600 likes on a video. All right, let's welcome who's here, and then I will tell you what we're going to do today. We have GF from Hamilton, Ontario, Dave Jackson, Flipped Burger, Fernando first on the stream, welcome. Aiken, hi. Raymond, Bull Runner 76, Boss Nova, welcome. Switzerland is here. India, welcome. Arkansas, Canada, Georgia, Richard, thank you, welcome. Right, Canada, Florida, Orlando, Steve J, Regulars, welcome. Ruben, hi. Iowa City, Bulgaria. Notorious Love out of South Africa, love it. Okay. Matthew, we appreciate you giving the business to Token Metrics, and we have SA, which I think means San Antonio. Okay, people, listen up. I swear to God, I haven't seen a day like this in a long time. There is something really, really weird going on in the fiat market. And you're like, well, Bill, of course there's a problem in fiat. Fiat is garbage. Yes, you're right. Fiat has become garbage. You won't believe it when you see it. So we have Bangalore, India, Seattle, okay? Fidelity issuing Bitcoin for retirement funds. California, Kenya. Andrew notes that I still have the red shirts on. Yes, these are the Notorious Bill red shirts, okay? And Oklahoma has arrived. All right, people, we got to get into this. I'm going to keep this as easy as possible because it took me all morning to get it. The fiat fiasco. This morning, the Japanese central bank did something incredible. So here's the headline. Yen craters to 20-year low as Bank of Japan stuns market with daily fixed rate operation to defend yield curve control, or YCC. You're like, what? What? What does that even mean? All right, here's what it means. If interest rates in Japan rise too much, their whole system blows up. Let's leave it at that. So much so that the Bank of Japan is freaking out. Now, this is really a problem because inflation is out of control in the United States, and the Europeans have decided to literally ignore it, and they've left rates at zero. So the Japanese have said, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to set a fixed interest rate or fixed price for our 10-year bond. And if you want to sell that 10-year bond, we will buy it. But it's not going any lower than this particular price, or the interest rate won't go up. Let's talk price. So here's the 10-year government bond in Japan, and it's not going any lower. It's not. So if you want to sell, you'll sell to us. We'll take it all. And you're like, Bill, how are they going to do that? Well, they're going to print the yen. So they've basically decided to hold up their bond market and trash the yen. We're just going to print the yen to save our bond market, the way the Fed printed dollars to save the stock market back in 2008. And I'm like, okay, so they're going to print the yen. And what does that mean? Okay, well, let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. So this was the yen chart I published yesterday that showed the yen at the top end of a trading band. And then the yen proceeded to crash to the bottom end of the trading band. Okay, and it's probably going to go a lot lower. Once this settles in as to what the Bank of Japan has done. Now, this should affect DXY. We have been obsessed with DXY. Everyone in crypto is. So DXY yesterday, I talked about it going to either 108 or 142. And the reaction was no doubt, okay, boom, right? The dollar can't possibly do that. And guess what? So if they print the yen, right, everybody who sells their bonds to the Japanese government, they get yen. What are they going to do with that yen? They're going to sell it and they're going to buy dollars. So the dollar versus the yen is mooning. Dollar index is at 103. And that is not going to stop. That is not going to stop. The Japanese government has said, we care about the bond market. We can't care about the bond market and the yen at the same time. We've picked the bond market. Have fun with our currency. That's yen down, dollar up, DXY up a lot. Like DXY up every day. So this is the 3-month chart of the euro. So this is like the euro versus the dollar. That's how they kind of chart it. So there was a teacup and handle in DXY. There's a head and shoulders top in the euro. And the target is for the euro to go down 20%. Now, in crypto, 20% is a bad week. Okay. In the euro, right? It's not the ruble. In the euro, that's massive. So if the yen's going down 20%, if the euro's going down 20%, the yen could go down more than 20%. Fiat is done. Like the euro and the yen and the Chinese currency is next. I didn't put the graph up, but this is going to put massive pressure on the Chinese. So the dollar has become, that's what they call it. They call it king dollar. So basically, the dollar is going up. The dollar's not only going up, it's going to moon. Okay, if the dollar goes up and the dollar moons, the Fed may not be able to raise rates as much as they want to, which means they are going to have to let long-term interest rates rise, which means bonds, like our bonds, so this is I'm trying to keep it in terms of prices, our bonds are going to crash. They're going to crash because if the Fed can't stop inflation because it'll moon the dollar more than it's already mooning, they got to leave it up to the bond market. So our bond market is in trouble. Now, unfortunately, I had to go back to interest rates. So this is interest rates in Europe. Okay. So if it's wow, European bonds, let's see. The ECB doesn't want to fight inflation and the currency is collapsing. Why do I want to own European bonds? The yield on these things were negative and it looks like it's headed above 1%. So you got the yen crashing in Japan. You got the euro crashing in Europe. You got European bonds crashing in Europe. And you may have big problems in the bond market in the United States. Oh, yeah. And oil is at the bottom end of its range. And oil may go up from 105 to, say, 135. Just for fun. Because they're talking about banning Russian oil. Now, what are we going to do with this information? So, dollar up forever, bond market's a mess. Well, stocks love it. Why? Well, because stocks love everything, right? There's no bad news in stocks. Now, to be fair, it's QE, right? The Japanese are like, we're going to print the yen, and we don't care. Inflation, whatever. We're saving our bond market, and we're printing. So equities are like, wait a minute, did I hear printing? Oh my God, let's go up. So equities, I don't know, S&P futures, 4277, 4360, maybe. Equities are going to love this in the beginning. And that probably will provide some stability to crypto for today. All right. Now, let's go over the different phases of the bear market. All right. Before I do that, let me answer a couple questions. So Driftless says, doesn't demand for dollars means lower yields on treasuries? Possibly, right? If everyone floods into our bond market, that's possible. That's possible, right? So we don't know what the deal is. Now, my guess would be if stocks crash, the whole world would flood into our bonds. But right now, stocks are like, oh my God, QE, yes, right? So, there's no reason to flood into our bonds right now, but it's a good point. Taz, hello, welcome. All right, we have the UK, Jacob. All right. Okay, Bill, when DXY goes up, does it mean the dollar is devaluing? No, it's the reverse. When DXY goes up, it means everyone's buying the dollar and selling every other currency like the euro and the yen. So if the euro and the yen crash, DXY moons hard. Okay. Now, Steve J is saying if all this legacy stuff happens, everyone's going to want crypto. This is the crypto dream, right? Fiat blows up. Central banks have egg all over their face. It's the crypto dream. And I'm not saying it isn't. I'm not saying it isn't. Okay. This could be the crypto dream. Now, that said, we thought the collapse in the ruble was the crypto dream. And I'll go over that. So let's review. The dollar is going up. It's been going up and it's probably going to accelerate. Normally, that's not good for crypto. Normally. But the world's gotten so weird that we're in this like, I don't know phase. However, I have been talking about the anatomy of a bear market, right? First, it was be aware of failed rallies. Then it was don't feed the bear. Don't buy the market and FOMO in after a huge reversal, which is followed by a decline and fear of being short. So the market crashes and everyone goes, ooh, I can't be short here. And then comes, we're all going to make it, right? Like, hey, Fiat's blowing up. Everything is okay. I hope it is. If it isn't, then you get your crash. Okay? So I'm hoping we're all going to make it. Now, let's just do a reminder. April is a 13 top in ETH. April only has a few days left in it. So let's be careful of FOMO today. Now, a brief note as to the idea that when nobody wants fiat, everyone's going to want Bitcoin. Makes sense, right? Well, let's talk about whether that worked in practice, right? The red line is the value of the ruble versus the dollar. So there's the invasion in February, the ruble crashes, and then the ruble comes all the way back. So how much money could you have made in Vegas betting that the ruble 2 months after the invasion would be unchanged, and Bitcoin, the yen, and the euro would be a lot lower? So believe it or not, off the crash, the ruble made Bitcoin versus the ruble made a new high. So it was like in dollar terms, it went to 70K, and now it's turned around and crashed. Everyone wants the ruble. No one wants Bitcoin. And the consensus after that trade was that everybody was going to go on Binance and buy Bitcoin. And they bought the ruble instead. Think about that. Okay, this is ETH. So this is the Elliott wave picture, right? Currently, we're all going to make it. We may be doing it up to 29.50. Okay. But this bearish Elliott wave structure of start, stop, start, stop, start, stop is still happening. So with equities up today and crypto with we're all going to make it, okay, because a problem in fiat is a win for crypto, today's an up day. Now, what do I always say about up days? These are the days to adjust risk. Even if it looks amazing, which it probably will by the time it's all over. Okay. When people like, this just happened. So the legacy analysts, the crypto analysts, like we got to figure this out, right? This is like 2008. We have no idea. We've never seen anything like this. Okay. Let's talk about Bitcoin. So 39,300 is the pivot. If it's above that, it's good. If it's below that, it's not. 36,800 is support, and resistance is probably near 40K. ETH, resistance is at 28.95. I have a very big GAN level at 29.20. If ETH is hanging around 29.20, that's bad. If it's a little bit above it or a little bit below it, okay. But if it just sits near 29.20, that would scare me. Support is obviously down at 2,700 and 2,800. All right. So let's go over the big altcoins. Solana, it's got to take out 102. And if it doesn't, like this 60 number that I drew and our AI drew something similar, that number is no longer a joke. It's not a joke anymore, right? If the dollar moons, altcoins of every kind are going to get wasted. Like if you thought ARK was bad, it's going to be worse than ARK if the dollar moves. Like I called up my quant chief this morning. He's speaking at a conference. I'm like, what's going to happen to the yen? He's like, well, I don't know, 10, 15% down immediately. More. Like immediately once this settles in. So if the dollar moves, what's going to happen to these altcoins? Avalanche, right? Went to 71, came off. We'll see what happens, right? Now, APE Coin, promised an APE Coin price prediction in the title. I noticed one smart YouTuber who bought it at 14 is taking profits here. I'm showing resistance at 23.63. I think if I get this is like the new sort of what I call like cult coin, meaning like people are just so enthusiastic about it. It has like a Cardano or XRP style following, right? We talked about a one coin market. This looks like the one coin. So if the market's positive, this can go to 23.63. And if the market stays positive and our AI likes it, I can just continue to draw resistance, but that hasn't worked. It just keeps going up. So I'm showing the next target at 23.63. Now we were going to look at just about everything. So going into altcoin overtime, okay, just a reminder as to where the levels are. 40,200 Bitcoin, 36,500. Worth taking a picture on your phone on some of these things if you're watching the recording. 2978 in ETH, 2687 support, which means if we have a FOMO day, right, the worst thing that can happen in ETH is that it would go above 2978 and come back down and sit at 2920. Okay. Right now, everything is okay. The first reaction is to always go, we're all going to make it. Be careful with that. AVAX, 75 resistance, 49 or 40 is support. Near support at 1184. Cosmos, somebody just asked about it. Okay. 24 is resistance. And if it's not above that, if there's a mess, 14. Okay. Solana, 95 and 81. 95 up top, 81 below. Okay. Luna, we have 81.4 and 60.5. Okay, let's look at this spreadsheet. Okay, we have the ones that show up and seem to matter the most. We're looking at, okay, ProPay, Pro at the bottom. The Token Metrics grade went up 65.5%. Okay, it's a real estate coin, which have never done well, but it allows you to convert your home into an NFT by converting it into an LLC. Okay. And that is the market update. Okay, let's take some requests and figure it out. Somebody wants to know if we can start to short sand. Okay, so here's ApeCoin mooning hard. Okay, let's go to the 8-hour chart so the labels match. Okay, so this is on a rope. It's going at 2363. Now let's go to Bitcoin and ETH. So ETH's got resistance at 3K. I'm actually going to go to the 90-minute charts. All right, so right now, it looks like everything is following equities higher, right? In other words, equities have figured out that, you know, even if the Fed is doing rate hikes, the Bank of Japan is handing out sugar. Now, on a 90-minute chart of Bitcoin, we have a 9 top and we have a 13 top. 40,700 is resistance. Don't FOMO into this. Don't. This is my opinion, right? If everybody thinks that this is, we're all going to make it, right? Everything's fine. Everything may not be fine if the dollar moves, right? So if you look at this, right, to like drive this point home, this is the dollar versus the yen. It's like parabolic. Okay. So if that continues, okay, we're all going to make it, may fizzle above 40K. Okay. ETH is a much better looking picture. Okay. Because you got the 13 bottom and now it's headed for resistance at 3K. Again, it's not on this chart. It's on my Gann work. I didn't put it on my Twitter yet because I didn't want to confuse anybody. Okay, 27.75 is the key level in case you're watching this later and crypto's lower, right? If crypto's higher, you're looking at 3,047. Okay. Somebody wants to look at my favorite coin, synthetics. Okay, let's just cover the meme coins while I'm here. Okay, Doge is still below a 62% fib number. So Doge has got a 13 bottom though on its 90-minute chart. So if we're all out there looking for new forms of money, don't underestimate the meme coins if the market is actually okay. Sheeb's got a 13 bottom on its 90-minute chart. So Sheeb might have a bid today. It looks like we're going to have, like they said, a we're all going to make it type of day. Okay. And as I've said, right, it's very unpopular. Don't get caught FOMOing in. Okay. This is when you want to like exit, I think. All right. So let's talk about what we got to talk about here. All right. So let's do GMT first. So GMT on the 8-hour, right? I had somewhere between 433 and 458. Right. So they got a Coinbase listing and, you know, people are going to use the additional liquidity from Coinbase to unload. And this new high has not been confirmed by new highs in the RSI. Okay. So I would be real careful about this. I would say time to take the money. Okay. Binance Coin. Okay. Nothing good, nothing bad. Okay. It's headed back to the middle of its range. Let's see how fast the computer will work today. Trying to give you guys like faster speed. Okay, so Binance Coin, again, 2 green up candles, right? 2 green up candles, down, 2 green up candles, down, right? You know, unless BNB is starting a new uptrend, which it could, right? I would say the level to focus on is 406. So if they smoke through 406, then it's good. That's how I would do that. My favorite closet favorite, synthetics. Again, I'm doing 90-minute because this market could be all over the place. So synthetics has got support at 560. Okay. It hasn't been able to get going. So there's a red thrust lower and then it comes right back. So I think synthetics has got to be above 579 to have a shot at 6. Okay. You got to be careful. I've seen this 1, 2, 3, 4 on the 90-minute chart. Technically, a lot of times you always get the counter trend bounce sometimes off of 4 before it goes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, bounce on a 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We'll see if that's what happens. You have to be careful of that. I noticed crypto has been doing that lately. Okay, Polkadot. Okay, so Polkadot on a 90-minute chart. I have a hard time giving up on Polkadot. There's a 13 bottom, and this never went up. That said, it's got to take out 1735. Now, interesting question here. So Steve is saying you got 30 million people just signed up to get, Bitcoin in their 401k, in their retirement accounts. The chief investment officer at Fidelity will be speaking at Consensus in Austin in June. Okay. So, demand for Bitcoin is going to go up. Okay. We heard that when they were going to release the ETF, but I get it. I get it, right? I mean, if everyone's going to put it in a retirement account and fiat's going to melt down, like this Japan thing changed everything today, right? Changed anything. Okay. So Polkadot, like I said, has to get above 1735. Cardano, okay, which I have in like an all Cardano list, but we'll throw it up here. Okay, so Cardano's building a base. It can't get above 85 cents. And until it does, there's probably not a whole lot to say. Okay, let's see if I have a layer 1 tab to maybe go through some of these coins faster. Okay, so here's Phantom on a 90-minute chart. Okay, so 13 bottom, and then we're doing the green candle today. I would say Phantom's just got to be above $1. It's the same read as yesterday, right? Near. Okay, with all these things, beware the failed rally. Okay, beware the failed rally. Okay. Okay, looking at Elrond, let's go over here. I'm just getting the feeling that a lot of the DeMark work is going to look similar, right? So let's go to a 4-hour chart of Elrond. So Elrond tries to go down. It doesn't make it. And now they're doing this, they're doing the green candle. Most likely Elrond has got to get above 151. So it failed there twice. And, we're all going to make it if the market can take out resistance, right? In other words, everyone's covering and buying Bitcoin, and I get that, right? But I was looking at Bitcoin dominance, right? So this is Bitcoin dominance on a daily chart, right? And you're probably out there going, okay, the Fidelity story is great, right? Well, maybe it's great for Bitcoin, but what about the rest of the market? Like this Williams oscillator on the daily chart of Bitcoin dominance was at 0 and it's now going positive. So what happens if Bitcoin dominance goes parabolic? What happens if it goes from 42 to 44 on a rope? I mean, it was at 42 at the end of February. I'm sorry, 44. What does that mean? Well, I mean, we have seen environments where Bitcoin takes off and altcoins either do nothing or get smashed. So what happens if the Fidelity news and all this problem with fiat is winner take all for Bitcoin? I'm just saying, right? I've been a fan of Bitcoin dominance going higher. Now, just as an update, right? Like equities, this is the daily chart, minis. Okay, they have definitely figured out that sugar is in play here. So they may go back up to test the 62% retracement of the last climb to 43.60. Then I don't blame them. I mean, you think that central banks have to stop printing money and the BOJ comes out of nowhere. It's like, wow. All right. Okay, Zcash. Okay, so I think I'm going to have to go to a different time frame because all these time frames, in a way, look the same. All the 90-minute charts look the same. So Zcash, okay, on a daily chart, there's a 13 bottom. So, you know, if there are coins where you want to start taking a shot at the long side, right? If you're like, all right, excuse me, we are going to be all right. We're all going to make it. Zcash should go up. If Zcash doesn't go up, there's a problem. There's a problem. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to start looking at the daily DeMark work on a lot of this. I think we got to switch back to a higher time frame to figure out, so, VeChain near where it is now is interesting. Okay. In other words, at 8 cents, it was a sale. At 5 cents, it might be a buy. We don't know yet. Okay, it looks like there's a lot of support underneath the market. So, there may be 2 more sideways days in VeChain, but it doesn't look terrible. In other words, a lot of, I know that this, look, it's better than the end of the world, right? Are we all going to make it? Now, if we're not all going to make it, this thing's going to get vaporized. But for now, people are going to be like, okay, I'll definitely want to grab some Bitcoin. But if the dollar moons, man, if you got a green day, you better make some adjustments, in shitcoins. You got shitcoins and you know that if you don't believe in what you're doing, okay, make the adjustment. Now, Gala, okay, epically beat up here. So Gala has been responding to 9 tops, has not been responding to 9 bottoms. 9 you get a 9, you get the classic counter trend rally, and then it starts going lower again. So what we need in Gala is some sort of proof that the 9 bottom actually matters. So more upside, in other words, as the market goes higher, if there's no failed rally, then you start to get confirmation. However, normally, like if we go back to all these examples, which like they're exhausting to present, so they must be exhausting to listen to, that, during 2008, when there were all these weird problems, you would get like 1, 2, maybe 3 up days before the whole thing turned again. So, all right, Gala's doing okay today. All right, okay. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. But you got to have your finger on the trigger here, because if you wake up tomorrow, right, and DXY, it was at 100, now it's at 103. If that goes up 1 point every day, that's not going to be good for altcoins. Bitcoin may be okay, right, but not the rest of the space. Right. Now, the good news is equities will love it. So that may save you. Equities may save you because they're printing. The Japanese are printing. So, printing may save your altcoin. But if printing leads to much higher dollar, we don't know yet. Over the next 2 days, you need to be on alert. Okay. Okay, let's go to Network over here. Then we might take a look and see how some of the Token Metrics altcoins are doing. Okay, so Network down on an up day after failing to get above a prior floor. So that's pretty depressing. Okay, support in Network is 85 cents. Okay, not every altcoin is doing well today. Okay, let me see if I can find what is doing well today. Okay, not much. It looks like APE and Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? Which to me feels like they're short squeezing everybody. They're just squeezing people. Okay, this is Avalanche. All right, let's see what else we got in here. Okay, RNDR. Okay, so RNDR on the move today on the upside. Thank God, right? Okay, for the moment, I think with RNDR, we got to assume traveling in this channel, right? These channels have just, these regression bands have just been like money. So support was at $1.43. This is RNDR 4-hour, right? It's sort of the middle of the range. The kind of the pivot is 156. And if you have QE FOMO, it's 182. Okay. Most likely, you're going to get some form of positive price action today. I suggest you pay close attention and use the rally wisely. Okay, Jasmine. Okay, so 0.019 on the bottom, and the top or the midpoint is 0.023. So we are in an area where, you know, there isn't always something to do. So it doesn't look like the end of the world. Most people who like Jasmine are going to continue to hold Jasmine because support is holding, right? They hammer it. They may hammer it one more time, but it's doing okay. Right? Now, again, higher dollar, game over. Okay, VVS. Okay, so this is very interesting. So maybe you have a stochastics divergence. Looks like kind of an epic give up trade occurred. And it looks like they're trying to come back above where the give up trade happened. So this is kind of interesting. All right. This is interesting. Let's go over to Token Metrics and let's look at VVS over here. So the Token Metrics grades are low, obviously, because it's gotten smashed. But when you look at this, there's probably no liquidity. Okay, so this is a good way. It's market cap rank, if I read this correctly, is 191. So somebody may be interested in this. TLOS. Okay, so these bands, right? This is TLOS 8-hour. $0.75 at the top. 52 cents at the bottom. Wire X. Wow. Okay, so strong uptrend here. Let's see if we have DeMark work on this. We do. Let's try a 4-hour chart. Okay, so some profit taking near a resistance band, but I don't know. The trend is your friend here. And I don't see DeMark work that would stop this. So, carry on. Okay, Zilliqa. Okay, Bitcoin over 40,000 now. Okay, so doing well. That Fidelity story, and of course, I think part of the Bitcoin story is what's going on in equities, right? Can't have stocks feeding on QE and have big cryptos down, right? It's not going to happen. The question is, when you got news like this, the first reaction is always wrong. So they FOMO in today. All right. Then the real big day is tomorrow. So we have ACA 13 bottom on the 90-minute chart, a nice rally. Okay. Like right at $1.15 maybe is support. Okay, so as with all these things that have gotten destroyed, all right, API 3, this was a big level where it's at right now. All right, so the good news is, API 3 is holding on a regression band line. Let me label this for the stream. Okay. So API 3, if the market loves it, API 3 can go to 4.5. Okay, what may be happening is that API 3 could be stuck near this GAN line at 387. So if you like API 3, you definitely want to see it bouncing off 387. Okay, so Emmanuel says we have 300 people on the stream. Let's have everybody hit the like button. I would love that. Thank you. Okay. Okay, SYN. Okay, don't have that over here. Okay, so this is sitting right in the middle of its range. Let's see what we got on Token Metrics for SYN. Okay, Paco says he hits the like button at the start of the stream, and I appreciate that. Okay, so just checking this out on Token Metrics. Okay, still bullish on the moving average indicator. That's good. Okay, the grades are low, but that's because, it's been hammered. So while we're here, let's go to the rating page. Okay, Matt, you're never late. You're right on time, man. Okay, so we're actually going to take the market cap filter off. Guard token has been a moonshot. Okay, couple of very small coins that don't even have market cap ranks. Okay, mirrored Apple and Tesla at the top. Let's see what, right? There's a curve coin up here. Kyber is still hanging tough. Let's take a look at Kyber. Okay, so Kyber just continues to go up, and every time they sell it, they bring it back. Okay, somebody wants to know, is Zilliqa a short? Okay, I would say with Zilliqa, there may be nothing to do in Zilliqa because it went all the way up and came all the way back down again. So everybody wanted to be long at the top. To me, it looks like they're about to make a 13 bottom on the daily. So I would say no, not investment advice. Okay. Okay. SCU. Okay, like a lot of these coins on an 8-hour chart, we can actually even pull up a daily. 8 hours better. 8 hours worked all year, man. Okay, so with this, again, middle of the range, it's been following this line lower. If it bounces above 0.009, you're probably looking at 0.10, 0.0106. Did I get that right? 0.018. Okay. What is the best crypto valuation, or what can I buy? Okay. So a lot of coins are expensive, like ApeCoin and STEPN that you've heard about have got enormous valuations. Okay. We have valuation experts. One of the ways that I like to do this, okay, is to go to Token Metrics, right? And you can day trade the all exchange index. So here you can find coins that people like. I don't necessarily know that they're cheap. Note that the all exchange index has got 2/3 of its money in stocks, okay, not crypto, other than APE coin. Okay, if you want additional coins, if you want to get speculative, all right, the KuCoin index, right, is the best place to find. Like XCAT has been doing well, Kyber, right? These are the ways I would follow this, but you also have to follow the macro stuff that I talked about. Okay. Okay, HOO. We got a lot of new people here. So if you're new to the stream, welcome. Okay, let me see if I can put HOO into Token Metrics. See what I get. Okay, the index is usually update like 9 a.m. Eastern. So you can get access to the indices if you've got the mid-level Token Metrics plan. Okay, you can get the ratings, okay, for the basic plan. You can't look inside the coin, but if you can't, all right, so we're stalled out there. Now, again, for people who are really into trying to find what our AI is interested in, right? These are the token. We have an analyst doing this. So this is the Token Metrics grade. All right. And what we're doing in yellow is we're tracking something where the grade shoots up, right? We want to track what shoots up in the grade because that means the AI is going, boom, let's look at this. Now, that can last a day. That could last a week. So if we are all going to make it, right, and if, Japanese QE saves the world, then looking at this type of stuff will be helpful. Okay. And then we have like a do your own research group. Like, we tell you that, ProP, right? Okay. Has 28,000 Twitter followers. And, it's, got to do with real estate lending, which I understand is actually hitting Google, that there are crypto mortgage lending stories out there on Google. So if you've got your phone and you're looking at this, okay, this is the do your own research list, not investment advice, okay? So we're just looking through Token Metrics to see what's moving on the grade. Okay, so let's try Who Token here and see what we get. Okay, somebody thinks GMT is going to 90. Okay, so the grade is low, but that shouldn't scare you away, right? Now, this is probably, let's see what the market cap on this is. So it's 400 market cap. It looks like it's making higher lows, so it looks okay, right? You'd love to see it if the actual Token Metrics grade would like shoot up. Let's see what the momentum indicator shows on this, if anything. Okay, so it's got a negative signal, so something good has to happen, all right, with this type of work. Okay, Ben is here for all the big layer ones. All right, so while that happens, Steve wants to look at total 3. So that's a good question. So total 3 is the same, right? This is altcoin market cap, for lack of a better term. The alligator moving average shows good downside momentum. and there's 8% or 7% downside to the bottom of the range. Again, you know, look, folks, I know you got altcoins. I know you like altcoins. We're an altcoin company, but you know, if the dollar smokes to the upside, I have no idea how these small coins handle that, right? I mean, this is the dollar index daily, and this is just, you know, it's just it's going. It's like 4 or 5 green candles in a row, and I don't even know what stops it with this Japanese announcement. Now, of course, if the dollar index top, that would be great, but you know, you got a green day, you got to take advantage of green days, because remember, you know, we're all going to make it is what comes before a crash. I'm not saying it's going to be a crash, but I'm saying, you know, you have to like protect yourself, because we don't know what a massive currency crisis in Japan and Europe looks like. We don't. It's probably good for Bitcoin, but what about the rest of the market? Bitcoin doesn't need the rest of the market to go up. It doesn't. There's been plenty of times where you've seen Bitcoin up and alts down 10%. Okay. Okay. So Hero Token Metaverse, really interesting to see BitBoy on Instagram talking about how his guys from his hit network are on TikTok getting a lot of hate from traditional gamers about the metaverse, and how he was saying that, you know, all this hate about the metaverse and play to earn gaming sounds a lot like the hate that Bitcoin went through in 2015. Very interesting. How tradable is that? I don't know. Okay. Meta Hero continues to do nothing but go down. Let me see if I have DeMark work here. No, I don't. Okay, so in Meta Hero, you're hoping that this is kind of like they call it an inverted hammer, right? On the daily chart, meaning bears try to push it down, it goes up, bears try to push it down, right? But bulls still maintain a little bit of green. So this can be constructive. This could be constructive. Okay, let me see if I have Flam on Token Metrics. Okay, not sure if this is what you were looking for, but FLM, a lot of stuff that's shown up. So this looks like there's been a give up trade, if we're looking at the right thing. Okay, so it's FLAM. I'll make one more attempt at this. Okay, that's not the right symbol. Right. So let's look at UOX. Right. Metaverse has just been destroyed. And, you know, all this super speculative stuff is going to have problems with the dollar going higher. So, you know, UOS, right? This looks like a give up trade in motion. So it's a positive day. We're all going to make it. Let's do one final review of Bitcoin and Ethereum before we go, right? So we can check GMT one more time. Okay, I have to go to a 4-hour chart here. Okay, so if we take away the sequential work, right, we're going to see this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and the DeMark work is telling you that this is like a pretty solid looking 5-wave top. So I think I'd be headed for the door in this, to be honest with you, right? In other words, Bitcoin 90-minute chart, the 13 top is in, okay? Again, following equities, everything is cool. You know, in ETH, yes, you have the 13 bottom, but if you take out the sequential, right, you know, ETH goes down and then it goes A, B, C, right? This has just been nothing more than a correction of the downtrend, right? You got to be careful with this, okay? Now, let's sum up what we've been talking about. Yesterday, we discussed that there was something weird going on and we didn't know what it is. Today, we found out what it is. The euro and the yen are collapsing and the dollar is exploding. Normally, that's not good for altcoins. Now, because the Bank of Japan is printing, equities are up. So while equities are up, Bitcoin and Ethereum will probably be up. That's good. That will give you an opportunity to evaluate your altcoins. I would strongly discourage complacency. In other words, if you like your project, like the Gala Games and all that stuff, and you want to hold it, I get that. That's fine. If you want to wait and see what happens, totally okay with that. If you've got positions that you know are no good, and you're going to get upset if they go back down, or you're going to be like that guy that came in on the stream that one day and said, I lost 20 grand. If you don't want that to happen to you, then use these rallies to adjust risk. If we're all going to be okay, if Fidelity's going to buy Bitcoin and Bitcoin's going to go to a new high, you got time to get in. If this thing turns around because of a higher dollar, you won't be able to get out. You won't be able to get out. Because dollar yen right now is at 130. You could wake up tomorrow and it could be at 150. Meaning the yen could be much lower and the dollar could be higher. So I would love to not worry about it. And I don't want you to worry. I just want you to manage risk. Because we're all going to make it is awesome. I really hope that's the case. I really hope that this is the end of fiat and the dawn of crypto. If it's not, you're going to have a major problem. So I leave it to you to hear my Jersey accent in your head as you adjust your positions and as you manage risk, right, based on your situation. All right. So that's it for today, Boss Nova, right? Steve, definitely appreciate you, right? Eternal Traveler, right? Aruna, thank you all. I will be here on Monday.